Hello and welcome back to another round 6 of the Dragon Racing League. We are here at the nice and a little warm in Bahrain circuit. So a fantastic track, usually reserved for the first race of the year in the F1 calendar. Next year will be replaced in terms of the lead-off race by the Australian Grand Prix in Melbourne, Australia. So we are here with this fantastic track. Oh, I am not getting any volume or any noise for this. One sec here. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on. Yeah, there's no volume. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can figure this out now. It apparently just needed a little love to get it going again. So as you can see, we have started Q1 here. Chris, thank you very much for joining in. For those who do not know, that is Wolf Okami. Clear Cut Method. How's it going? Alexis Cars, how are you? Thank you all for hopping in on this wonderful Sunday evening, or I guess possibly Monday morning, depending where you're coming in from. I guess, yeah, it's either Sunday evening or Monday morning for you, or I guess afternoon. But I appreciate everyone for coming on in. As you can see, starting to get some times in. Brian Autry was our first fast lap as we get going here, as he makes his way around turn 12 into turn 13. There are 15 corners. Technically, I'd much like most people count the last corner here that we will have coming up basically as one corner as it is, as that's got that very odd sort of double corner that they like to call Gunnar with our first full lap in. Sorry, I thought Brian Autry did with a 1:28.602. Brian Autry getting in there with a 1:32.291. I'll turn that my mic down just a little bit. I just realized it's getting a little louder than I wanted to. So sometimes starting to come in of our first grouping here. As you can see, we do also have Verstappen filling in the McLaren, our other Su OG in the Alfa Romeo, Mars Bars in the Ferrari, and I think we have in the Aston Martin Twinkie also having hopped on in. But our usual group as normal. As we can see, Hayden has got himself up into P2. AO also in the top 5 right now. And we do have Red Devil, who's here in the Ferrari. Boogie in the Red Bull there. We do have Foxy in the Williams. Ronan B. Schultz as part of their new team that Hayden and B. Schultz are now a part of, Ronan Esports Racing. And then we have the Johnny Damon hanging out in the pit lane, and a Wolfsburg tuner in the Haas. So our lone Haas, it looks like almost everybody else has a teammate. Yeah, it looks like it. We did forget to mention Wolf Okami, though I did talk about him earlier as he had hopped into chat. While we are getting these first sets of laps kind of going, we will quickly bring up our team standings. So as you can see, through our first 5 races of this season, Alfa Romeo is sitting on top with 110 points. Ferrari sitting in second with 100. Mercedes in third with 95, having taken over McLaren, and McLaren dropping down into fourth with 89 points. AlphaTauri with 40 in fifth position. Aston Martin in 6th on 31. Red Bull Racing with 25 in 7th. Williams in 8th with 8. Alpine in 9th with 9. Haas in 10th with, Alpine in 9th with 8. 6. I can read today, oh my goodness, with 6, and Haas tied with them with 6 points as well, and sitting in 10th position. On the driver's side of things, we do have Aaron Coulson in P1 with 102 points. Oh, right, yes. Abliash? Sorry, very sorry if I butchered your name. In second there with 84, Jack Newhouse in third, 65, Ben Schultz and Hayden Rogers, the two Mercedes, with 58 and 37, Damien Contois with 30, TJ Hubert with 24, Donovan Bailey with 22, Michael Pennant with 18, Christopher with 14, Rami Al-Abed with 13, as he is a fill-in as well, so he is sitting a little further back. Jeremy LaFontaine with 11, Kevin G with 8, Zach Radick with 6, Marley Smith with 6 as well, Brian Autry with 4, Alexis Clement with 3, Mitchell Brodsky with 3, Samuel Schaefer with 2, and Cliff Casto with 0 points so far. So that is where we are, and as you can see with our schedule, we are in Bahrain. Next week we will be in Qatar, followed by Japan, Miami, Coda, and then finally wrapping it up on May 26th in Brazil. Just Chris, I would butcher your last name. Thought I was in trouble. Nope. I looked at your last name and I was like, no, I'm not even gonna try. One day I'll get it. Like, to me, it looks like, but I'm very literal, it would be Asuncion? But I probably butchered that, so Chris just seemed like it was easier to go off of. Anyway, we do have a few now starting their next set of flying laps. I actually believe AO is almost done as he makes his way past turn 11 here. It's very fun, high-speed S's, but you got to be very careful. If you hit that inside curve, it will send your the back end around on you. The second one was right. Oh, Asuncion. Huh. All right, Chris Asuncion. There we go. Look at me figuring out names. Asuncion. Okay, cool. Huh. Go me then. Well, so Chris Asuncion. Okay, so AO is there, yeah. We do have a few. It looks like Mars Bar is on his way past this very tricky section. There are very, obviously, anyone who has seen or driven in Bahrain around this knows this section is probably one of the most difficult in all of the F1 calendar. You have your 9 and 10 corner, where it's a very, very tricky kind of soft corner, but they're very hard, sort of almost hairpin. Then you have a long straightaway with the DRS right after, so it's kind of tricky because you need to get a very good exit. Otherwise, it can send you around this corner, or this curve on the inside on the right there. That can send you around very quickly. If you don't have a good exit out of here, you're going to be in big trouble coming into the final two corners where you only have to gear down a little bit. And I think this is just burn off fuel as best you can right now for the Ferrari of Marsbar. I think he's going to be a Gooner setting another faster slap with a 128.496, holding on to P1. Punky Cream in second, Red Devil in P3, Fast Up in P4, Ron and Hayden in 5, the Johnny Damon in 6, Racer X in 7, Sue OG in 8, Wolf Okami in 9, Foxy in 10, 11 now, Buki in 12, AO in 13, Brian Autry in 14, Wolfsburg Tuner at 15, and Mars Bar coming through with a 140, but this is going to be his first actual flying lap. So we'll actually ride on board as we head into turn 1 and turn 2. And then that was just 3. Here's our 4, 5, and or 5, 6, and 7 exit before 8, which is this massive hairpin before you head down into turn 9 in this section here where you have to brake early, kind of bleed. A little tight, but he does make it work. Get on the throttle once again. DRS wide open as you make your way down here along the sort of back straight into turn 11, which is going to be a drop down to about 5th. You'll kind of hold it, hop back into 4th if you need to, hop back onto 5th, get back up. Try and avoid that inside curb. Boogie is strong ASF. Yes, very good driver, Boogie is. Thanks for hopping on in there, Charles. And then you drop down to 4th, kiss the curve, little wide on the curve there, and then you just want to pin that throttle down. We'll see what this will get Mars Bar in terms of times. As he crosses the finish line, we'll hop up in to P8. And we do have a B Schultz. Looks like he is not burning any of his energy, so I'm guessing either was an incident and is bailed out of the lap. Yeah, it looks like gaining some, so he's going to actually come into pit lane. Where is Boogie? There Boogie is, as he is on an out lap as well. Let's see, coming through this sort of S's section. Where, oh, I just saw, I think that's a Red Bull that went absolutely flying off to the side. Oh, and he gets out of the way of the McLaren. Not sure which McLaren that was, but he does all he can to get out of the way. He is going to be on the outlap here. We will hop and see Foxy as they are heading into turn 13. And then you kind of got this flat out section where you try and set up passes coming out of turn 14 and turns 14 and 15. Twinkie taking over the fastest lap, the 128.469. And Foxy gets themselves up into P12. Brian Autry just kind of getting out of the way here, it looks like, letting cars go by. We have Boogie. He will be starting his fast lap. As you can see, the Red Bull of Wolf Okami sitting just behind him as they kind of make their way. Looks like a little bit of a tow for Wolf Okami here. Actually, yeah, it's going to be a massive tow for Wolf Okami. As that Boogie gets out of the way, going to take a second out lap. You can see Sui as he heads into, or they head into the final 2 corners. And it looks like we are going to be diving into the lane here. And Twinkie having just finished his their lap. And then we can see Wolf Okami as they make their way down into turn 9 and 10, sticking as close as they can to that inside curve, and the Mercedes getting out of the way there. And through the little S section of 11 and 12 before the tighter right-hand corner of 13. They did set a purple sector 2, so off to a flying start for Wolf Okami. As we make our way through into 14, 15. Little double corner here as the SMR gets very out of the way. DR is going to be open right now, as that'll allow a little more speed as we make our way to the finish line. And Wolf Okami will hold on to P12 here. And Boogie looks like he is starting his fastest lap. We do, I think, have an Aston Martin. I think that's the Johnny Damon who is on his outlap as well. Hayden Rogers starting their fastest lap, or fast lap as well. I'm just trying to see what we have, unfortunately. So about a minute 50 left. So this will be the last lap for a lot of people, or anyone who is still in the pits is gonna really need to get a Boogie on. So they will not have a whole lot of time, but I don't think like Brian Autry or Twinkie are gonna come back out. I think that's gonna be the end. At this point, yep, now they are done. They will not get a lap in for coming back around. So we will start to see people kind of filing through, getting ready to wrap up their final runs here as we make our way down to the end of qualifying. Let's see the Mercedes here of Ronan Hayden as he makes his way into our fun little last section, 11 and 12. Go nice and wide, then heavy on the brakes, drop down, back on the throttle as you come out. Into 14 and 15. It is going to be a 5th position. And we do have a lot of cars still to come. So it looks like Foxy is done. Qaliy is done. Brian Autry is done. And we've got some people all kind of near the end trying to make their way through. Got a long list of people coming through here. They are going to be getting ready to wrap it up. As you can see, Foxy still in the pits. Qaliy having gone in. It looks like Boogie is coming around here towards turns 8 and 9. And then 10 as this get that exit. So we do have Twinkie, Qaliy, Foxy, and Brian Autry as they are all done. AO has just crossed the finish line in P13 as well. As the numbers are starting to come in here. I think the Johnny Dame is going to be one of our first ones to wrap this one up. So he's coming through currently sitting in P8. And we'll have a McLaren just behind him. I believe, yes, that will be Racer X. So let's see whether the Johnny Damon gets his car up into P3 for now. Racer X coming through. He is going to slot in P7. Looks like, I think Boogie went into pits. Yeah, so there goes the end for Boogie. We do have Hayden here. He's actually, unfortunately, lost his time. And Ronan B. Schultz up into P3, dropping the Johnny Damon down a position. Gunnar going to stick into P2 for now. Stewie is going in. Hayden is going in. Red Devil coming around his teammate just ahead here as well. And that will get the Red Devil up into P3. And just Wolfsburg Tuner left to go, as actually that will be them crossing, and that will end qualifying. At the end of qualifying here, we will be a very short, brief window where we're going to have everyone organize themselves to get ready for the next, race here, or for the feature race, as we have Twinkie in 1, and we have Gunnar in P2, Red Devil P3, Ronan B. Schultz in P4, the Johnny Damon P5, Faststeppen in 6, Ronan Hayden in 7, Racer X in 8, Sui OG in 9, Mars Bar in 10, Foxy in 11, Qaliy in 12, AO in 13, Boogie in 14, Brian Autry in 15, Wolfsburg Tuner in 16. With that, we'll take a very quick break and allow everyone to kind of get their setups all dialed in, their strategies all figured out, and we'll be right back with our feature race. Don't go too far, but go grab yourself a drink or the bathroom, whatever you need to do.
Max, 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 Super Max, Max, Super, Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max, Super, Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max, Super, Super Max, 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 Super Max, Max. Ik mis geen race, heb scheid aan mijn centen. Ik zie Max zijn mooiste momenten. Hij is de king van Barcelona. Rijdt alles zoek van Spa tot Monza. De geur van rubber en smeltend asfalt. Ik juich als Max weer één voorbij knalt. Zijn inhaalacties zijn bijzonder. Het is een baas, een wereldwonder. Yo fucking ho, niet meer normaal. Hij is een held en gaat maximaal. Fucking bizar, een fenomeen. Hij gaat naar de top, Max is de nummer 1. Yo fucking ho, niet meer normaal. Hij is een held en gaat maximaal. Fucking bizar, een fenomeen. Hij gaat naar de top, Max is de nummer 1.
Bizar! Fucking bizar! Jaren zit je naar dingen te kijken en te open. En daar is hij. Max Verstappen in de laatste bocht in Barcelona. Yo hey! Yo ho!
Max, 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 super Max, Max, super, super 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 Max, 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 super Max, Max. Jarenlang zit je te kijken en te hopen op succes. Zodra je Max ziet racen op de baan, dan denk je yes. Hij is niet te passeren, niemand krijgt het cadeau. Hij is een pure racer, vang ze op en goed no.
Hij is de nieuwe baas.
Hij is de nieuwe baas.
Max is de nieuwe baas.
Hij is de nieuwe baas.
Ja, wij gaan helemaal los.
Hij is de nieuwe bos. Super Max, ik ben apetrots. Yo fucking ho, niet meer normaal. Hij is een held en gaat maximaal. Fucking bizar, een fenomeen. Hij gaat naar de top, Max is de nummer 1. Yo fucking ho, niet meer normaal. Hij is een held en gaat maximaal. Fucking bizar, een fenomeen. Hij gaat naar de top, Max is de nummer 1.
Yo fucking hell, wat bizar! Ongelooflijk! Sportoverwinningen zijn zo mooi. En deze is de allermooiste die ik in mijn leven gezien heb. Jongen, jongen, jongen.
Max, 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 super Max, Max, super, super 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 Max, Max, Max.
It's always hard with no formation lap as we are underway. I always get caught out. As we have an Aston Martin going wide, a little bit of a lockup, a couple of contacts in the back, but we are continuing to go forward. It looks like we've lost some positions for some people. We are continuing underway here with Twinkie in P1, Gunnar behind him, Red Devil in 3, Bischels in 4, Fastap in 5, Hayden in 6, Racer X in 7, Marsbar in 8, Sui in 9, Foxy in 10, Wolfakami 11, AO in 12, Boogie in 13, Johnny Damon in 14, who looked, he was the Aston Martin that unfortunately had a little bit of an issue, but he is going to start trying to make his way up as he has a little bit of a duel going on with Boogie down in 13-14. Brian Autry in 15, Wolfsburg Tuner there at the back as we have a huge lockup out of the Red Bull just in front. You can see the smoke there, but we are continuing. Twinkie holding on to P1, Wolf Okami making his way past Foxy into 10th as well. Foxy actually fights back. These two going back and forth. It looks like Foxy goes a little wide, but does get back tucked in behind the Red Bull. The Johnny Damon passing AO just behind them as well as they come into this corner. AO not giving that position up. And neither is Foxy and Wolf Okami as they are dueling it down. Foxy does have the inside line, so this could get a little more interesting as they both are on those medium tires. Goes a little wide, but no, it does look like Wolf Okami was able to make that. The Johnny Damon did stay ahead. We do have a Racer X and Mars Bar as well. Hayden trying to keep his way ahead of Mars Bar. AO and the Johnny Damon everyone's swapping positions in places where I'm not looking right at this moment. As the Chinese team does get past AO as they make their way into the hairpin sort of corner here. You can see the cars all flying through. Looks like Gunnar and Twinkie are going to have... Oh, and we have Hayden. A little bit of a spin as he does end up on the inside of the track. Does keep out everybody's way. Is going to rejoin and now down in P14. So a little bit of an issue there. As we can see, very close racing. We have a little bit of a break. Ooh, massive lockup. I believe that's out of Twinkie as he was heading in to turn 10. But these two seemingly having a run off at the start. We'll see if that is able to continue. Verstappen very much on the close up on the Red Devil, and we got ourselves a little bit of a DRS train. As you can see, pretty much everybody down to Wolf Wakami into the DRS. Medium to hard is going to be one of the strategies. Your two-stop strategy will be medium soft. Soft, medium, soft, or medium soft. Basically whatever you feel like, but most people will try and pull a one stop as it will always be faster. You can see quite a few cars on those medium tires. Gunnar setting a fastest lap of 1:32.848 as we make our way through lap 3. Twinkie right on the back of him with a 1/10 of a second back, as we do have Foxy trying to do what they can. No DRS quite yet. But that will come into play, I believe, at the end of this lap here. Oh, DRS is inactive already. There we go. It just wasn't being used. As we can see, the McLaren of Verstappen right on the rear diffuser, hopefully not pulling a Lance Stroll and just driving through the rear diffuser of Red Devil with the Scuderia Ferrari. It's a very tricky corner that turn 8 can be. Verstappen very much, you can see this overhead. We've got about 4 cars in this little grouping now, before Racer X about a 1.2 seconds back. Twinkie now having that DRS, and looks like playing the long game of just kind of stick right tight behind him. Then Verstappen does look to the inside, decides against it, as you know, really it's hard to make this move really stick here, as with those 3 DRS zones, so you can kind of see them down by the start finish line. There's one that goes just beforehand. Then once you make your way past the sector 1 little symbol there, the little 1 on the bottom left of the map, there is the second DRS zone, or first at the start of a lap. And then you have the one on the back straight there, just under the number 2. So those 3 zones, it makes it very tricky, as we have Verstappen looking to make a move past Red Devil. He has gotten to the inside, massive lockups ahead of him, but he is going to hold on, as both Ferraris now fighting it out as they are right behind each other. You have Bischolz sitting in P6. We do have our double Red Bulls as the Red Devil looking to make a move up on the inside of Verstappen. He is not quite able to make that one stick. Verstappen having that little bit of a better time, as the exit out of that corner can be really tricky if you're not able to go very wide and kind of use all of the track there. So a little bit of a tougher place to try and make this move. Coming up after the exit turn 10, so that was 8 there. We have 9 and 10 coming up right away here. So this little turn, you can see the big lock up ahead. So this going to get the DRS wing or flap open. These guys are going to be trying to push. I believe Verstappen will be trying to dump a little bit of battery just to stay ahead, but this is one of those corners you really gotta try and make it work. If you can get a good exit out of 13 as well, is a great spot to try and make a move. Stewie is on the back of Racer X, just about 4/10 back, but not too far, so we could see something come out of that. Wolf Wakami just behind them as well. You can see Foxy in the Williams just behind the Red Bull, just ahead of the Johnny Damon, who is trying to put some pressure there. 3.8 seconds behind is AO and Boogie, as these two are fighting it out down in P12. And then you have a Brian Autry a little bit back, Wolfsburg Tuner and Hayden, who I believe had to pit for parts. And then we have Racer X having made his way past up on the inside of turn 2, heading into turn 3. Now on this little bit of a straightaway, I don't think he has DRS still. No, yeah, that's the Alfa Romeo will have DRS there. And I don't know if anyone was up bright and bloody early this morning for most of us, but in the Chinese Grand Prix, they were talking about apparently in the actual F1, the game plan is they're getting together and they're going to discuss having points given out to the top 12 drivers, not just 10 anymore. It's very interesting. And then there are Crofty and Foxy decides to go for a little bit of a donut. I saw that just in the background, unfortunately, but it looks like they are back forward facing and going on, continuing, so no issues there. But yeah, so Crofty and Rosberg had a little bit of a conversation discussing points. Rosberg prefers it with the 10. Crofty was talking about, I believe it was Crofty, was talking about the fact that he thinks if you finish the race, you should get points anyway. So basically hand out points for the top 20 if you finish the race, which are interesting conversations. I'd be curious if that would actually work out. As you can see, Racer X getting passed once again by Sui as he dives down, trying to grab as much of the slipstream, try and prevent Wolf Okami from sliding by as well. Wolf Okami and the Johnny Damon dueling it out. Well, the Johnny Damon got a massive exit of turn 3 there. Just basically slingshotted right ahead as they make their way through a lap 6 here. So anyone on these hard tires, you're probably looking at, want to say, maybe lap 19-ish. Big lockup there. Will be around when they're coming in. Otherwise, you're going to be on those medium tires coming in probably around 12, 13. Ooh, big lockup out of Racer X going into there. All these lockups not going to do a whole lot of good on those tires. I mean, they are on the hard, so they have a little more life in them, but you still want to avoid that if you can. Sorry about that, had to sneeze. As we are back up, continuing there, it looks like Verstappen has made his way past the Ferrari of Marsbar. Marsbar also having gotten past. Oh, Schultz looking for a very interesting move on the outside there. Getting a little bit of a squeeze, but was able to stay on the track. Fortunately, just behind the Red Devil as these four are now fighting it out, going through turn 1. A little bit of a not great exit out of Verstappen, as it took a little too much curve, it looks like. But we head down now, and all the cars behind him going to have DRS. The Ferrari of Marsbar deciding to stay a little back. Foxy, making their way past Brian Autry a little further down as well. And it looks like Boogie and Ayo are dueling it out in P11. See what's gonna happen here, but Schultz getting real close up ahead. Let's see what's going to happen back here. Obviously, with this little DRS train, makes it a little harder, especially if you're at the back, to be able to get through. He is on those hard tires, as is Red Devil, and the two ahead of them, I believe, are both on mediums. Yes, so we have Marsbar and Verstappen on those medium tires. Red Devil and Schultz both on the hard tire as we try and make our way through. And we can see, you see Red Devil kicking all the way to the inside, trying to block that inside line, having the better line, but also trying to break the slipstream of Schultz to not give him as much of a run. Is a smart move, but you have to be very careful because you can get a little bit of a slipstream off the back of Marsbar as well, as Boogie does get past AO again. And we have Racer X trying to cut it down to the inside line, making Sui go all the way around the outside, which is a little trickier, but of course they are going to have that DRS through there, but not anymore. So that's going to at least keep Racer X in the head in P7 for now, but does get a little bit of a lockup going into turn 8. Not the best. I think that's actually going to allow Sue to get a little bit closer. Another big lockup heading into turn 10. I'm going to stick with the slipstream as much as they can. Try and get up close and real. Oh, it does look like, oh, Hayden has DNF'd further down, so he actually has retired into the pits. We won't have any safety cars. No problems there. At least we shouldn't. I don't know what happened, but unfortunately that will be the end of the day for Ronan Hayden. See Brian Autry trying to chase down Foxy. He is within they are within DRS range. As the Alpine and Williams dueling it out. It does look like Sui and Wolves and Racer X, they are really fighting it out. And Johnny Damon kind of creeping in the background there, waiting to chew up whatever scraps get spit out of that duel. It does look like Red Devil does get passed now by B. Schultz. So we do have a Ferrari sandwich with a Mercedes filling. Personally, if you're not a fan of those two teams, sounds atrociously terrible. Yes, yeah. With a little bit of papaya on top, I guess, if you had the McLaren. As they make their way around lap 9. As they continue down the back straight here. Which always feels weird calling this their back straight of the track, as it's so close to the front straight, where the start-finish line is. And we head down towards P14 through the detection zone here, so we'll see what this ends up playing out as. Gonna have to fire open that DRS and try and chase down that next Ferrari, and of course, let's see if this plays out. Nope, it is going to tuck in, but it does look like Verstappen does get passed by Mars Bar. Not wanting to let it go, but he ends up having to tuck in just behind him. Is not going to get DRS either, as unfortunately the detection zone is actually before the corner, so he made the turn and was able to utilize the DRS to try and get past, but of course, or to open a gap, unfortunately did not, and that's actually going to allow B. Schultz to be not too far off, about 0.4 of a second. Oh, as he gets very close, not pulling a Stroll or a Magnussen. V-Car having a very tough weekend this week. A little bit of a shaky entrance or exit there, but now we are going to get a little bit of a DRS train of these four, and you can see just a little bit further back, Sui and Racer X dueling as well, with the Johnny Damon kind of keeping an eye open in the background, as it looks like Foxy has dropped back. I'm curious, maybe they, I think, pit. They are now on hard tires, so I believe they have pit already. So they're going to try and go 19 laps on those tires, and they should be pretty close. It might be a little tricky, but we can see, I believe pretty much every race at Bahrain has had a yellow flag a safety car in real life. So see, I don't think that'll be the same. Does look like is Mars Bar actually going to be hopping in? So I was correct about 11-12 laps, looking to come on in. He is going on to another set of mediums, so he is going to be trying to make a two-stopper here, and we'll see how that ends up playing out. And is he going to get out ahead of Boogie? I don't think so. As you can see, AO does make a move past, but they do both pass Mars Bar. Must be Schultz into P4 now and trying to chase down Verstappen. And so he is trying to chase down a car with slightly faster tires. They are on those mediums. Francois Poti. Good luck. Come on, Schultz. Good luck to Schultz, Red Devil, Verstappen, and the Johnny Damon. Very, very interesting group, as I don't think any of them are on the same team. They are all on different teams. So, yeah. But very, very diverse collection. I like it. very, very supportive in a multitude of teams. So you can see that Johnny David a little further back, he is in P7, having gotten past Sui, trying to chase down Racer X now as well. And we can see the Red Devil just kind of a little further back now, about 7/10, whereas B Schultz is about 4/10. Not going to have DRS right away. They will get it coming into this corner. Now he does need to kind of get onto and start to utilize. They're all for their friends. Yeah. It's just very funny that not, whoa, a little bit of a switchback as he does look to try to make a move up the inside. We'll call that one a little ambitious. I don't think he was going to make that, and he did not. Does to make a little look to the inside, decides against it once again. It's very much in that rear diffuser of Verstappen. You can see the Papaya McLaren heading his way down into turn 8. As I believe, yeah, these three, Johnny Damon needs to get his work together. What's he doing? Why is he not in this little battle, right? I mean, then you could just cheer for this battle. All in all. As we do have Verstappen, B Schultz, and the Red Devil all right up there. Racer X spoiling everything. As he is preventing Johnny Damon from getting off there. But fantastically done. Wolf Qaliy is still flying around trying to chase down this front group as well. And then Boogie is just a little bit further back. Marsbar, having done his first pit stop, is just now within DRS range. I don't think before the detection zone. Hello, having a little bit of an issue. Going a little further wide coming out of turn 10, but able to get back on and have no issues. Brian Autry just a bit further back. Wolfsburg Tuner looks like going to get passed by Foxy on their newer set of hard tires. Have to be diverse? Yes, exactly. Diversity is the wonderful thing of life. At least that's what we're going to go with. Gunnar and Twinkie dueling it out still at the front. These two have been very close. I believe Twinkie has basically sat on the back of, and oh, I say that as B Schultz actually is able to make the move there heading into turn 4. Baby knife, come on. Yeah. Johnny Damon, he's got some work. He had gotten past Racer X, unfortunately not ahead of him anymore. That DRS here is very strong. But yes, pretty much every race that's run here has had some form of a safety car, whether it's virtual or full. The other thing will be it's about 23-ish seconds for a full pit stop, so entry to exit, including the stop, typically. Obviously does depend. It looks like we have an issue in sector 1. I think that's Wolfsburg Tuner just having a little issue going through turn 1 and 2, but all good and no issues there now anymore. But yeah, so it's about 23-ish, 24 seconds coming through pit lane during a regular race is what it will cost you. About 19 seconds if you are under safety car or a VSC. So some very, very interesting decisions have to be made at some point, as I believe we're going to be coming up on as Verstappen is actually able to make his way past B Schultz. The DRS very strong in this track. But it is going to be very interesting on what decisions get made, because that hard to medium could be advantageous as the Johnny Damon does get past. Oh, all the people getting past. Now we have the Ferrari right up on the outside. Racer X and Sui, and somehow the Johnny Damon actually ends up dropping back 2 positions there, having a very difficult time trying to make his way through all of this. We do have Boogie and Ao having now come in. It looks like Boogie is on his way out. Ao just getting in, so he is hopping onto some hards, looking to go about 15 laps, as he did do 14 on the medium, so 15 on hard should be easy to do. Foxy actually getting ahead of both of them and going to slot in P12. And so we do have Marsbar. He did pit early. Top 2 pulled the Verstappen. Yeah, just take off, and who needs to spend time back there? As you can see, Racer X having gotten passed now by Sui. Yeah, Verstappen he had himself a race today. What was it? 14-ish second lead after 2 safety car restarts in China last night. That was a nice and quick one. No. Oh, and there we go. So that is Verstappen heading into pit lane off of those mediums. Let's see what we're going on to. I should be going on to hards. Let's see here. Yep, there go the hard tires on and back out. So the Johnny Damon and Sui are going to get past this. Looks like Local Kami coming in for hards as well. Marsbar getting slightly up. Oh, he is actually going to come out just ahead of Verstappen, so not ideal. Unfortunately for Verstappen, the undercut very strong here. Bahrain has one of those better kind of undercuts, but we'll see. I don't know. Marsbar is going to have to for sure pit once again because he went medium, and you do have to go with a second set of tires or second, I guess, softness or hardness of tire. And so going medium, he's probably going to try and get a little track limit moment there. Unfortunately, he's going to have to come in. Most likely, I'd say probably coming in around lap 20 to 22. Try to throw on some of those soft tires there and make his way through the end. Christopher Schultz, thank you for the support. Pody for my son Ben and Red Devil. They are good friends. Yeah. So one thing I do love about this league is a lot of people that are pretty close. It's a fun league. Lots of good people. It's had a little turmoil in the past and stuff, but they've seemed to kind of gotten everything settled down and been a good time. As we do have Red Devil and B Schultz actually both coming in now, so B Schultz and Red Devil actually going to be going on to medium tires and make their way to the end there. Ooh, quick stop for both of them. Looks like B Schultz is going to actually come back out ahead. The Johnny Damon still pushing, as is Sui and Racer X. Gunner and Twinkie have neither pit yet as well, and they have actually a 20-second lead, so they or 21-second lead. They're just unfortunately a little too far back to being able to not have to worry at all, but it's getting close. They're getting pretty close here. It's about 22 seconds for Twinkie, almost 23. They might actually be able to get in and out. Friends with them too, racing with them all the time, except for here. I'll probably race here again next season. I was gonna say Pody. I remember you from last year or last season, I guess. The name looked familiar, so yeah. Well, there's like the name. The last name was like what that is, I think. It'll be good to see you in again for next year. So we'll see. Are these guys gonna come in yet? Nope, they're still pushing. Oh no, Gunner is sliding on in. Okay, so they're on hards. Gonna go to those mediums. Twinkie is going to try and go another lap, or at least another lap. Curious if they're gonna try and do a one-stop hards to softs though. That could be very interesting as we go on to the mediums for Gunner. That seemed like a little slower than what they want, but they are on those mediums. Are they gonna make it out in time? Racer X hopping in. The Johnny Damon not coming in. Is he gonna make it out ahead of? And nope, Gunner is going to just stay ahead. Verstappen setting the fastest lap with a 1:32.8. Ooh, big lockup out of the Johnny Damon as well. We do have a few people getting past. That looked a little close coming out of pit lane. Verstappen just ahead of B Schultz now, but 2 seconds up. The Red Devil right behind B Schultz, and this little duel is going to be very interesting as we make our way through. As is the Marsbar and Verstappen. Yeah, I raced last season, but work got in the way. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah, work sucks. Make you do things like not be at home playing, racing. And we are on with the Red Devil, who has set a purple sector 1. Very curious. Twinkie actually might be able to come in now and get a pit stop in without actually coming up behind Gunner. That could be pretty tricky. This will be very interesting. Let's check what Twinkie is coming in. Okay. So we're going to keep an eye. Gunnar is coming around the final corner. Oh, I don't know if Twinkie's going to be able to get out in time. So you can see at the bottom, the little red circle just crossing the finish line. It's going to be really close. This is going to be tight. This is going to be some Max Hamilton. Oh, no. Twinkie just able to hold on. Bischolz having made his way past. And he is actually up into P3. Does try and make a move on the outside. Is able to kind of get it there. And they're going to go into turn 3. He is going to have slide by on everybody. Allows us to get the awesome gear we race with, though. I know. It's so nice. Got myself my 9 Newton meter Moza wheel and the FSR, 9 Newton meter base with the FSR wheel from Moza. Need to race more. We'll see. So I don't think I'll actually be casting it for you guys next year, or next season, as I'm not getting the new F1 game because I can't. Other than your guys' cast, I do not touch the game at all anymore, which is unfortunate because they just don't care about it very much. Anyway, but I do a little more iRacing, so we'll see what ends up happening. I do love my stuff though. It's good fun, but I do need to get more into doing stuff. But work gets in the way. As you can see, Bischolz currently holding on to P3, about 7 seconds back of Twinkie and Gunnar. He does have a few drivers just behind him. Gunnar setting the fastest level, 131.624. See, is Fast Appen going to look to make a move? It does go up the inside. Looks like a massive lockup. That wheelless of it. It's so nice. It's fantastic. It has, yeah, that little screen is actually very handy for a multitude of things. But you can see Bischolz fighting back here as he does dive up in the inside. Not so much a dive as just make a move up the inside. And take over again for P3. So this little trio here looks like they're gonna have a fun dueling it out sort of time. But we'll quickly check, as I believe we do have some more duels going on. As you can see, the Johnny Damon Racer X and Sui also fighting it out a little bit further back. Wolf Okami kind of not necessarily in no man's land, but got some space to himself. What he needs to do just ahead here. And that very cool as he makes his way past turn 10. Racer X is gonna get past, but they do have DRS, so these two are going to fight it out in a drag race to the finish. Oh, no. They are going to stop it. I have Fanatec DT stuff, but I've also been doing iRacing much more than F1 lately. Yeah, right? Like, you can just do more. Like, you can rock some F4, and then, you know, just hop on over and drive some GT3, and then a little bit later, hop into a cup car and go run Dega if you want. It's kind of whatever you want to do, which is fantastic. A little more pricey-ish, but I think it's worth it. As Marsbar is coming in for that second pit. It's like it had a little bit of an issue in the front, actually, so had to get a new front wing, but onto some soft tires. So it was right, going to pits, medium softs. I was a lap too late. I did say 21 to 23. 20, but losing a front wing will send that for you. So we'll see what they are going to be able to do. As 9 laps now to try and reel everybody in. He is going to be on the fastest tire that they make, the fastest compound here. We'll see what all ends up happening. Brian Autry having himself a fun time. Just getting that seat time in. Wolfsburg Tuner kind of involved in a way, as he is a little bit further down. Gunnar currently holding on to P1. Twinkie just behind him. Ronan Bischolz, the lone Mercedes, still in the race, having a little bit of a lead, getting close to actually being able to get outside of that 1 second, and breaking DRS. Is he going to be able to do it? Unfortunately, no, so this won't help too much, but he is going to have the 1 second gap, but DRS will be active for Verstappen. Unfortunately, looks to break the toe massively. believe Fast Habit, yeah, Fast Habit does have the DRS, so he's going to start to reel him in just a little bit. Looks like Bishul's actually going to massive battery dump there, break the DRS, which is going to be nice as he's going to be allowed or able to kind of just go at this point. We can see as just behind. Now Red Devil is going to have a great advantage on Verstappen that I don't think Verstappen is happy to have to deal with. The Johnny Damon does get by, a massive block up behind them, as you can see the smoke cloud. Whoa, he has a little bit of an issue coming out into turn 3, out of turn 2, and is going to drop a little further back out of DRS range, kind of into no man's land, just a little bit, unfortunately. So we'll do a quick little run through. As you can see, Foxy just behind, but Mars Bar on that soft tire is coming, and he is coming quick. Tire is quick, especially compared to the hards that Foxy has on as of right now. Mars Bar. Looks like, yeah, there it is. I was going to say that has a bit of fast lap. And it is purple sector 1. As it's going to be a little tight going into turn 8, but Mars Bar able to make it work. Gets past Foxy. Curious if they're going to set the fastest lap. I'd be very shocked if they do not, as we do have a very little shake and bake going on behind here. As they come through sector 2. Down the back stretch back straight into turn 11. And then we have the right-handed turn 12 before the next turn 13. I didn't see if it popped up purple. They not have fastest sector 2, but I'm curious if they're going to get fastest lap here. Let's we'll take a look, see how this all plays out. I'm very curious. Soft tires are quick. They did have a little bit of a tow, but had a little bit of an issue trying to get past, it looked like, Foxy. Let's see, is that going to be a fastest lap? No, it looks like it will not be the fastest lap. Well, and we can see here, so hopping on with AO as we head into turn 1. A very tricky turn 1-2 section here. Whoa! We're going to not talk about that commentator's curse as he makes his way on by. It wasn't me, I swear. I had nothing to do with it. Gunner's still holding on to the lead, opening a little bit of a gap now between him and Twinkie. A little further back, Ronan Bischultz has gotten himself away. He's about 2 seconds up now on the Red Devil. I don't know why I say the Red Devil, but on Red Devil. As you can see, that car needs a little bit of a wipe down, getting a little dirty on those side pods. Okay, we're gonna get off before I cause another one. Red Devil trying to track him down going into the out of the final corner. Just 1.9 seconds. Fast Happen not far behind. Gonna have that DRS. Looks to break the toe. Oh, he's gonna actually be able to do it as we come in. Oh, this is gonna be tricky. Interesting move under braking as he tries to get out. Going to take the pylon that's on that inside line already out. So that's God. As you can see, Wolf will come in, heading his way past the start-finish line. We got Racer X just behind him as Sui just goes flying on by. The Johnny Damon has started to catch up. He is back within that DRS range. Big lockup out of Racer X ahead. As Sue is going to get past. We'll just say it was Magnussen. 100%. Always Magnussen then. I have no idea what his game plan was on that dive. Same with Lance Stroll, just straight driving right into the back of Daniel Ricciardo and ruining his race. Poor Danny. Like, I know he's had some bad races on himself that he has to figure out, but he's had a lot of bloody bad luck this year. Albon and him that was in Japan. You have, Albon and him in Japan. You've got Lance Stroll straight taking him out. China. Not a good time for him. Curious what ends up happening. Liam Lawson's licking his chops, I'm sure. I'm sure he's very excited to get his shot in F1. He did look good last year for the couple of races he had to fill in for Danny Rick with that broken hand, but we'll see. There's the Johnny Mars Bar just a little further back on those soft tires. Doing what he can, about a 10-second gap between him and the Johnny Damon with 5 laps to go. I don't see it closing up, but who knows? Johnny Damon making a slick little move He's actually able to get past Racer X. Oh, not that slight. Racer X having himself a little bit of an issue, but is able to get himself back going. As we can see, Foxy coming through the final corner there, turn 13-14. And by that I mean 14-15. Yeah, Magnussen. The new Kvyat Torpedo. Oh. I forgot that was Kvyat's nickname, the Torpedo. It was Sebastian Vettel that gave him that nickname, I believe it was. If I remember correctly. Boogie. Hiding and slamming his way through. A little slide coming out of turn 1 into 2 there, but able to keep everything that good. Ayo having his way out of turn 2. It's a very tricky complex, that 1, 2, 3 of Bahrain. Not the most fun for everyone. And you can see here Brian Autry as he makes his way down into turn 4. And Wolfsburg too. Enjoying the little S's there before coming into turn 13. Just want to make sure everyone gets their screen time. Don't want to leave anybody off. Gunnar here, still holding on as Twinkie just behind him, fighting their way to the finish line. This is going to be a very interesting little duel going on here. Schultz now having gotten completely clear, but we do have the slightly fresher tires in the hard tire, though, a fast happen on Red Devil. That DRS being very, very important as we make our way through. As you can see, fast happen on the inside coming into turn 4. Able to hold off the Red Devil, the Johnny Damon getting through and past Sue. Same corner, Lando got taken out by the Torpedo as well. Yeah. They're very... I think it wasn't the same corner, though, that two Ferraris dueled it out, and they almost took each other out in the sprint race. That was an interesting time all around. So yeah, very interesting China. We'll see. I believe we're headed to Miami next, aren't we? Miami? Yes, Miami in 11 days, so a couple weeks here. Or we'll be driving around America. As, see if Red Devil is able to get past a Verstappen. DRS is going to be open. Let's see. He's a little far back. I don't think he's quite going to be able to catch him. You can see Verstappen trying to harvest energy as he heads his way through there. Not quite able to make it through, so unfortunately for Red Devil, not quite able to... this is going to get a little interesting as the Johnny Damon tries to make a lunge. Not quite able to... So Qaliy is able to fight back. Yes, sir. Yeah. That'll be really interesting. It's like Qaliy not really sure who to defend against. It's both the Aston Martin and the Alfa Romeo. It's really hard to say the Alfa Romeo considering they don't actually exist anymore. I keep forgetting about them. It does get past Racer X. Racer X coming in for some soft tires. Not sure what. Didn't think he had too many issues, but back out on those soft tires down into 13. You can see Sue gonna try and make a move. Brian Autry does get past Racer X, but Racer X gonna be on those soft tires. So we'll see that happen very quickly. Going to, unfortunately, not able to get by. Mogsbar still kind of kicking around doing his own thing, trying to reel in, but has gotten himself back up into the points after the 2-stopper. Foxy still on the same old hard tires. I want to say they were one of the earliest stops out there. I think it was like 19 laps they have to push for. So the tires seem to be holding up all right, though. Not losing too much time, still sitting in the points. Has about a 3.7 second lead on P11, so could end up with a nice points gain there. Johnny Damon. Wolf Qaliy goes a little wide. It loses a bunch of time as Johnny Damon is going to slide on through, and looks like Sue is going to also, but Wolfkami is on the inside. Let's see how that holds up. Is a little squirrely coming out. I think burnt those tires just a touch coming into that turn, and wasn't able to quite get the traction coming out and lost a bunch of time. They are coming up on Wolfsburg Tuner here, but Wolfsburg knows what he's doing. Gets out of the way. Coming in to this next straightaway, and they'll go ripping by. Ooh, big lockup out of the Johnny Damon. See that smoke go ripping through. Not what you want to do. Gotta keep those tires fresh, so clean. As our front group here now onto lap 28. This is gonna get real interesting coming to the line, because I think Twinkie actually has the speed, but it's kind of just waiting, biding their time. We'll see what they're going to be able to, if they're going to try and make a move here. I think the real spot they're going to try and make a move is actually going to be on the next lap on the back straight. That's where they're going to attempt to make that move. They can. Oh, Racer X unfortunately has retired. It looks like they have an issue. Actually, we're on board. We're going to see Racer X on the inside. Is that going to bring out a safety car? Nope, it is gone. That car is out of the way. Rather unfortunate for Racer X, so that will end the McLaren of Racer X. Verstappen now the only McLaren left. So yeah, so I can see next lap right here is going to be where he's going to try and make that move, is my guess. That's what we're going to guess on here. We can see Bischoltz having a fantastic race, sitting up in that P3. The gap of almost 3 seconds behind him. Verstappen, though, has to get on his horse a little bit. Got to close that gap. Most likely going to be looking to try and make the same thing coming out of turn 10. Try and get a good exit and try and take over. Wolfsburg 205 getting past Racer X's position, and that will put him up into P14. So Johnny Damon looks like he has been passed going into the S's here. Interesting attempt. Oh, Gunnar does actually make a move on the outside of the final of turn 1 there. Very interesting choice to have made, as that's actually going to allow Gunnar to get DRS coming up into turn 4. Not really sure that he's also going to have it. Oh, we do have a yellow car. Oh, that's the Brian Autry. A little sideways. Off the track, though, and out of the way. And this is where this issue is going to come. Let's see. I would have waited to about here to try and make a move. Stay nice and close and try and make this move with DRS coming into here. Or just, unfortunately for Gunnar, did not get a good exit on that corner at all. And I think that's going to basically allow Twinkie to get themselves a P1 here. So we'll check out what is happening. Verstappen looking to make a move as they make their way into the final DRS zone. Not quite able to catch back up. He does have a 6/10 gap here. Johnny Damon going to do what they can to fight off. They are going to have to deal with this DRS zone coming up as well. Quickly, we'll see how it is. Twinkie going to come across. And they will take the victory in P1. Gunnar following up right behind them. Bischoltz going to slide on through. I believe that's Brian Autry. Yes, Brian Autry finishing in 13. Bischoltz going to round out the podium in P4. Red Devil and Verstappen in 4 and 5. The Johnny Damon just holding on here. But they do have this long straightaway, and it is going to be battery dump central as they try and make our way. See if the Alfa Romeo of Sue is going to be able to late brakes. Goes very wide, but looks like is going to be able to make it as they come to the finish line. And yes, Sue, and then Johnny Damon, Wolf Okami, and then we do have Mars Bars. He crosses the finish line in P9. Foxy, the last points getting position, has about a 3-second gap. Wolfsburg Tuner will also finish in P14, just a little further down. As it looks like Foxy is going to come through and finish this race in P10, take that final point position. Boogie in P11. Ale being the last one that has not finished. Coming through in P12. And not a single safety car. I think that's the first one I casted. I think that we haven't had a single safety car or anything. So fantastic racing. I did tell them. I said, if you, whoever causes a safety car, I will give you the caster's curse. And apparently they listened. And GG's B Schultz, yes, fantastic racing out of B Schultz. He was right up on in there. But a fantastic drive out of Twinkie and Gunnar as they dueled it out. And my personal, my little bit of a bias towards B Schultz, as he is Canadian, as am I. And let's be honest, it's the better of all the places. But a fantastic race, and congratulations to Twinkie on that first position, Gunnar on P2, and B Schultz on P3. So with that, as you can see, so Twinkie with the overall win there, just barely ahead of Gunnar, who will get the extra point, though, for the fastest lap. B Schultz in third place, Red Devil in fourth, Verstappen in fifth, Sue in sixth, the Johnny Damon in seventh, Wolf Okami in eighth, Mars Spar in ninth, Foxy in 10, Boogie in 11, AO in 12, Brian Autry in 13, and Wolfsburg Tuner in 14. And unfortunately, we have Racer X technically 3 laps down, but DNFing in the 15th position, and Hayden, or Ronan Hayden, going to be holding on in P16, unfortunately DNFing. No penalties either. Yeah, no, no, there was one penalty early on, I believe. Oh, who got it? I think there's a penalty for a collision. Maybe I'm not, maybe not. But I think it got served through that. Congrats to Verstappen's in P1 and P2. Yeah, they were very much on their own that entire race, but fantastically clean racing. So very, very excited for that. We will quickly throw that off. And so we'll hop on into the schedule, as you can see. So that will cross out Bahrain, and we will be heading to Qatar for next week. So another fun track out in that kind of area of the woods, in the Middle Eastern kind of section of our racing weekends. So we will be heading to Qatar for next week, and then Japan, Miami, Coda, and then Brazil. But congratulations once again to our top 3 of Twinkie, Gunnar, as well as B Schultz. So another fantastic race. We will be back next week for Qatar, and hopefully we will be able to see you guys all around for that one. But have yourselves a great rest of your night, day, morning, whatever it is in your land, neck of the woods, whatever. We will hopefully catch